Hello everyone, I'm back again and I want to do a review today. First of all, it's an easy one. This is the latest offering by Ramesh, and it's a beautiful book. The Forest I Know. It is unbelievably beautiful book to hold in your hand. And there's so much in here. I'm going to go over it briefly. These are short video reviews. I'm going to read you a few things to give you a taste. But there's more in here than you suspect. And it was published by none other than Harper Collins. Harper Collins. And the cover artwork is Masood Hussain. Really beautiful. Here, let me get a better view for you. It is really a stunningly put together book, and you have in it a lot of information about Tanka, Tanka Prose, Tanka Sutras. I mean, this is as much as it is. This is Kala's work, and this is her book and her passion, but she's also inadvertently, the way good poets do, taught you a great deal about Tanka. There's so much in here, and we're going to go over it just a bit. And to have Harper Collins do it, I can't tell you, I'm pretty amazed, to be honest with you. It's the first time I think the likes of William Higginson and Michael Dillon Welsh and God knows how many others, Anita Virgil, none of them were able to crack this one. So I'm really, really happy for her. But I want to give you a sense for her. She's a friend of mine. I've known her for 2 decades now. And the one thing I want to tell you, and I'm going to give you some examples here, but Kala is one of those people, you can spend too much time on inspiration and not finish the poem, because you don't add the craft ingredient. And you can spend too much time on craft and completely lose the inspiration. For some reason that I'm sure is even unknown to her, she's found the formula consistently over and over in all of her books, all of her publication, all of her poetry, to balance between those two things. And because of that, that's why I believe this is as much an instruction manual as it is with examples. And there's some good instruction that she's added here at the end also. This is a little bit of, everyone knows I'm a Hyman prose guy. I think that may embody the spirit of Haiku and Japanese poetry in general. But I'm going to read this one to you because it touched me, and she's written so eloquently about her mom. It's entitled The Spine. I held my mother's hand, gently guiding her across the road with its fast-moving traffic. My father and I were taking her to see a doctor for her severe back pain. Her touch was very fragile as she held my hand, so automatically my hold on her tightened. We are 4 born by her, and all of us have greatly admired her strength and fortitude in the face of adversities. She was never one to flinch, but on that day, as she tried to get out of the car, her face crumbled for a second, and it was painful to see her go through all this. It's now 2 years since her lower back pain episode stopped. She is over it, or rather she proudly says, I know how to tolerate pain. Of course, none of us believe her. Stopped by the traffic signal. A woman. The myriad expressions we carry through life. Wow. I had a mother just like this before she passed away a few years ago, 96 years old, and she was the same way. Always fine. Even if she'd just fallen, even if she'd just gotten out of the hospital, she was always fine. And I think that Kala has captured not only her mother, but a good deal of her father, and certainly of herself. Absolutely beautiful. By the way, there's many of these. I can't go through all of this for you. It's just, there's too much. But I am going to read you some Tanka that I picked up on, just so you have a sense for what, and the topics here are all over the map. If I started to read every topic, I'm afraid this would be a very long review. The one other thing that I have learned to admire about Kala is that she will tackle any topic. It doesn't, if it's close to her, if it's affects the world, if it affects women, it affects children, she can find a way to turn it into a poem and into a learning exercise, into a teaching exercise. It's the real value of poetry that I think this myself, I hope that's true of all of us, that poets can really alter the way people think, because we do it in a sneaky way, and particularly in the world of haiku, where 3, 4, 5 lines can convey a lot of large issues. Here's one. For months I go without writing. This urge to become a leaf rising with the wind. Here's another one that I really enjoyed. Dawn mist, reaching the hilltop, I while away the time. Far below, a group of villagers on their way to work. I love the fact that the poet is whiling away her time while she watches other people head off to work. You know, I'm not so sure. It's just one of those wonderful things. And the dawn mist that begins this poem, the first line, is genius, because there's very little that separates all of us in this world. It's a thin veil. We tend to think of it as a big thing. We think in terms of gender, in terms of size, in terms of race, in terms of country. But there's a thin mist that separates all of us. And she has, just for a second, parted it between her and the villagers scurrying off to be on time for work. That's a very well done poem. And I don't know how long she worked on it, but if she told me she just jotted it down in 30 seconds, I'd be shocked. But she can shock me. And one more I want to share with you. I frankly found her skirt to be gaudy until a butterfly comes along in this shocking pink. It's funny when we look at other people, how they dress, and we make judgments about them. But the gaudiness of the colors and the differing shades and the contrasts in the dress are nothing compared to what nature gives us in a butterfly. And I think that's this gives you a very brief taste, and that's all I like to do in these things. I will tell you that there's a lot here. One of the things, you'll learn a little bit about Kala. There is a nice bio, but very generously, one of my favorite writers on Tanka is Michael McClintock. And he added an afterword, which I absolutely enjoy, about the form and using Kala and her work. And I've got to be honest with you, when you take the things that Kala has to say in her introduction, to this book. And if you take Michael McClintock's words, and then you take the fine examples that Kala has given you here, this is one of those that you won't be throwing away. You won't be saying, well, a year from now, well, I've got too many books. I think I'll leave this one when we move. You're going to hang on to this one because, and in fact, I'm learning things about it. I've read it now 2 or 3 times. And I will say this. This comes with the Mike Rehling guarantee. I don't care where you are in the world. If you buy this book and feel like you were cheated, you didn't get something that I told you you would get, you don't like it, you send it back to me. I will pay you for the book. I'll pay you for the shipping back because you shouldn't have it because you're not appreciating something this good. I only give 5-star reviews, but I'm tempted to go to 10 on this one. I really enjoyed this book, and I can tell you it comes with my guarantee. Take me up on it. I'm not a sucker. You're going to love this book. And I want to thank Kala for writing it. Underneath this in YouTube, I'm going to be sure and give you some links, not only to where you can buy this book, but to other publications and anthologies that Kala has worked on. She is a fantastic poet. She's from India. She happens to live there, but she is a poet of the world. And you really need to buy this book, have it in your hands, and let Harper Collins know that those of us who practice Japanese forms, we spend money too. Thank you.